Right. Hello. Welcome. My name is Andre, or DM3000, and I'm with D&D Digest, and today we're going to be releasing our third chapter of the prologue for Pamana Ring of Fire. That's a mouthful. Basically, Pamana Ring of Fire is a homebrew campaign where we're celebrating East and Southeast Asian folklore and culture. It's been a great time of discovery for me as I kind of read up on my own heritage, and that's what Pamana means. It means, among other things, it's heritage and legacy in Tagalog, which is the main dialect of the Philippines. Before our characters jump into the actual campaign, what we've done is we've pre-recorded some one-on-one shots or D&D duets that tell the story of key moments in the player character's backstory. It's something we're very, very excited about. This last one here is it's a character based on Indonesian folklore, which is very cool. Again, learned a lot there. Before we start, I'd just like to thank Roll20. If you are not familiar with Roll20, it's a great platform for playing tabletop role-playing games online with your friends. It's enabled us to play D&D, and we've been using it for a long time and been very, very happy. So I highly encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. You can go to roll20.net and sign up for free. So yeah, thanks so much, Roll20. This is how we roll. And last thing I want to mention is before we jump into it, there may be some scenes described here that are a bit graphic or described in a graphic way, and that might be triggering to some people, or it might be disturbing to others. So viewer discretion is definitely advised. Without further ado, I'd like to begin our third chapter of the prologue here. This is Cahya and the Mask of the Leyak. As you scale the mound of bones, countless souls whirl around you, crying out in their eternal agony. You do your best to follow her, to keep up. She turns and she teases, mocking you almost. You must hurry! You must hurry! I don't have all day! She says to you.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
That's why you're my favorite. So obedient. I love it. You are my favorite. You know that, right?
Right.
The dark shag of hair floats ever so slightly behind her, and her snake-like tongue almost carried by the draft in the room. As you reach the peak of the cliff of bones, she grabs you by the back of your head, her long nails almost digging into your face. She says, "Look. Look into the water." She pushes you, and you're almost falling off of the edge of the cliff. You see a pool of arms and faces. They reach up at you, almost pleading for help, pleading for mercy. You forget how much their cries feel like they're grating at your ears.
Why are you showing me this?
Don't turn away. Look deeper. Can you see her?
Who?
Do you see the woman? You see no woman. Where there was once a pool, you start to see almost like a vision appearing before you. And instead of a woman, you see a boy. And he says, "Help. Find me." She says, "Do you see her?"
No.
"Look harder." She pushes you further out. You're hanging off the edge of the cliff, supported only by her nails and her hand. She holds you by the head. As you look deeper into the pool, you see a woman. Middle-aged, looks to be of some wealth. She sits in front of a mirror, combing her hair, brushing through it.
See her.
Ah, finally. She grabs you and she throws you back.
Who is that?
That is your next mission. You will retrieve her for me.
Who is she?
She drifts towards you, and she takes her long nailed hands, wrapping them around your face. She says, "You don't usually question me. Don't you want to be good?"
Fine. I'll do what you want.
She releases you, and then she digs her nails into your chest, and she tosses you into the pool. You fall off the edge of the cliff. As you descend, your body goes weightless. And what do you feel inside? Do you feel anger? Do you feel animosity? Do you feel anything?
feel numb.
The
I'm
numbness.
used to this at this point.
The numbness is replaced by hands and arms reaching at you, pulling at you. They pull you under, deeper and deeper, until you feel like you're drowning. You gasp for air, as if you breathe it. But you feel as if you're drowning, and it takes over you. And there's this overwhelming feeling, and this reminder of mortality. You remember her words. Rangda would often remind you, you are not immortal. And as the drowning feeling goes away, you emerge out of the water. It's night. The crescent moon shines against the dark ocean waves. You walk ashore, looking for the boatman who takes you to the mainland.
Finally, some peace and quiet. I walk along the coast for a while.
As you walk along the coast, you see the trees moving gently in the wind, leaves moving in and out of the rays of the moon. You see no life in the trees. But as you walk further, you eventually reach a singular boat, and a man stands atop it. He doesn't say a word. He points to the boat. You notice that he never looks up. And as you move around, he almost moves to avoid direct eye contact with you. There's a familiar, uncomfortable stench to him.
I walk over and sit in the boat.
As soon as you take your place in the boat, he takes his oar and he begins to row. As you move into the ocean, there's a moment of calmness. And you get a moment of reflection. What goes through your mind?
Think about how comforting it is here. How different it is from the life I live.
You
I'm
have
envious.
You have a flashback to the vision that you had in the pool. The boy's eyes sear into your soul. What were his words? What did he say? You try to remember.
Is he familiar to me at all?
No.
Who are you? Why would you want my help?
Your journey goes on for hours. The boatman rows and rows, no complaint, no break. He just rows and rows. When you reach the shoreline, you can see it off in the distance, past the trees. Atop a hill is a small village. Roofs of straw, illuminated by the nightlight. The boatman points towards the top of the hill, where there sits an extravagant palace. ornate.
I'll stand up to leave. Or do I'll turn back to him. Terima kasih banyak.
No response.
And I'll turn. Alright. I'll turn to leave.
As you get closer and closer, through the trees you see light. Small fires coming from the village. Torches, candlelight. How do you move through the forest towards the village?
I'll try to stay out of the light. Trying not to be seen.
Let's roll for stealth. You try to keep to the shadows. You move from one tree to the next. You hide behind the wall meant to protect the village. Instead, you find refuge in its shadows. Protection from alert onlookers. You hear the steps of what sound like able-bodied men moving towards you. What do you do? Their voices are low.
I'm still in the foliage, I guess. Or,
No, you're against the wall on the outer part of the village.
Are there any bushes or something?
There are.
Okay. I'll just kind of crouch behind them.
Okay. Again, roll for stealth.
Oh.
That's a 5. You go to move. You crouch down and you go to move towards the foliage, and as you do, the light of a torch shines on your face. You feel the warmth before you notice the light itself. 2 men stare at you, spears at hand.
Guess I'll stand upright right away.
Okay.
Saya minta maaf. Sorry. Just passing through.
Roll for deception.
15.
It's past curfew. Back to your home.
Well, I'll head back now. Thank you.
They watch as you walk past them, and you move into the village, past the walls. That's the first foot in the door. And as you move forward, you hear voices coming from the houses, but it is past curfew. So the streets are empty.
I want to move in the outskirts if I can.
Okay. The guards are walking
from,
behind you.
I'll cut the first corner, or if there's an alley or
Okay.
in between some houses, I'll cut through.
Okay. So you cut through. And you move quickly through the shadows. You pass home after home and you hear voices coming from within each one, some younger than others. The people are home, but they are not at rest, not yet. You continue up towards the palace, and eventually you make it there. Right outside her window. You watch as she brushes her hair. Just like you saw in the vision. What do you do?
Can I open, sneak through her window?
Yep. You could certainly try. She's not facing the window.
Oh.
Roll for stealth.
15.
Okay. You carefully move, climbing into the window. And as you get in, there's a little girl sitting in the corner. She sees you. She's 5 feet away from you. What do you do? You put your index finger against your lips, signaling for her to be quiet. She looks like she's in shock. She squints her eyes towards you. And then she says, "Ma." The figure, the woman sitting in the chair, brushing her hair, turns and sees you. She's about to yell. What do you do?
I rush towards her.
Roll for dexterity.
Not 20.
Okay. You zoom across the room, and you have your hand wrapped around her mouth. She's trying to scream. You can feel it. She's trying to resist. Roll for athletics.
19.
It's futile. You're much stronger than she is. The little girl begins to cry. She starts getting louder.
Okay. I guess I'll put like fabric over like the woman's like mouth.
Yep.
And then if I have rope, I'll just tie it around her like arms like that.
Okay.
And then I'll try to take her out with the window with me.
Okay. So you wrap her mouth in cloth, and the girl is crying, and it's getting louder and louder. You hear footsteps coming down from outside the doorway. You move to take her out. Roll dexterity just to see how quickly you can move and tie her hands, and not
5.
quick enough. 2 men come into the room. They see you immediately. What do you do?
I'll take out a dagger and I'll hold it to her throat. Don't move any closer.
Let her go! They say.
Don't come closer or she dies.
Roll for intimidation. With advantage. You have a hostage.
19.
Okay. They put their hands to their up and then to their sides. You move out the window. You're back to the window as you move closer to it.
Yeah. I'll just like kick it open
Yep.
with my foot.
You kick it open. You climb out the window. You bring her out of the village. What does that look like? How do you do it? While watching your back.
I have to go through the village.
No, not necessarily.
Can I go like the outer wall again, like on the outside, where the forest is?
Okay. You climb down with her across your shoulders, and you climb down. She's struggling, and it makes it difficult to climb. But eventually you make it down, and you're down by the forest on the outer part of the walls. The bells start going off behind you. People start yelling.
How far is the boat from me?
It's not an hour even. Do you go quickly, or do you try to go quietly?
go quietly.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll go quickly.
Go quickly. Okay. Roll for dex.
7.
7. Okay. You try to move quickly as you can, but she's struggling, and it's making it much more difficult than it needs to be. As she struggles, you have a hard time grasping how close your followers are. But you do hear voices, and you see torches through the trees behind you. What do you do? If they will catch up to you if you continue this way.
Maybe we'll try to hide on the side until the guards pass.
Okay. Roll for stealth. With disadvantage. She is struggling.
I want to say something to her first.
Okay. What do you say to her?
You struggle, and I come back for your daughter.
Nice.
Be still.
She cries. Her cries are muted with the cloth you put around her mouth. As you look at her and the light of the moon shines on her face, you notice she looks old and frail. Older than you saw in the vision. What do you feel?
Guilt.
Is this a new feeling for you?
No.
Okay. She goes as quiet as she can. And you can roll for stealth. You hide as best as you can, but eventually they catch up. You see a unit of soldiers. They look at you, and they start yelling at one another. They start moving in towards you. What do you do?
How far are they?
About 20 feet away. He's here! He's here!
Are they only coming from one direction that I could tell?
Yes, but there are more coming off from the side.
Well, I'll take her and I'll back up to the water, like with my back towards the water.
Okay.
And then I'll hold my dagger to her throat again.
Okay.
Stay back.
Well, for intimidation.
20.
Okay. You notice one of them moves forward through the crowd. Not quickly. He's very slow, very cautious.
I'll press the dagger deeper so like I draw a little bit of blood.
Okay. He says, No, please. Please. Let my mother go. You don't need her.
With me.
No, take me instead, he says.
You're not my mission. She is.
What do you mean?
I'm
Please.
here for her.
There's a confused look on his face. Do you continue to step away?
Just pass. Or she dies.
Please don't hurt her, please. He notices the blood. They let you pass.
I'll pull the dagger away, but still hold it close.
Yeah. Okay. You you make it to the coast, and when you make it there, the boatman isn't there. The bells are going off in the distance. What do you do?
Rangda?
You call out to Rangda. Cool. And?
What are you doing? Where am I supposed to go?
You yell out to Rangda. You hear her laughing, almost as if it's behind a wall. She likes to play tricks like this, even when it's...
This isn't funny. You want her, right? Through the fog that rests just atop the ocean, a boat appears, and the same familiar boatman rowing atop it. He doesn't look towards you. I'll get the woman on the boat first. Then I'll sit down as well.
She's crying. You realize it now, but you don't know if it had ever really ceased. Eventually, she passes out, perhaps from fatigue. And the boatman, as he did last time, just rows his boat.
Oh, I look at the woman passed out, and I say, I'm sorry, but your daughter will be safe. I'm sorry.
You have a moment of remorse with the unconscious woman, and you feel as if your words are just as useless as if she had been conscious. You say them nonetheless. The boat ride feels longer this time, with this weight on your chest. But eventually you make it back to the island, and back to the opening in the earth that leads into the cave. You bring her in, and as you walk across, you hold her across your shoulders.
I mean,
How
like
do you
over
hold her?
one if I can.
Okay. You hold her over one shoulder and you walk in. And as you do, the other beasts and creatures of the darkness look to you and look to her. You see some of them sniffing, curious.
Off. I snap at them.
They react like animals, upset, but also very almost feral. You're clearly an alpha to them. You continue, and as you make it down to Rangda, you see her waiting, smiling, arms crossed. I'm so glad you made it back. I'm so glad. I realized after you left, I probably could have sent more people with you.
But
Yeah.
but
This
you
is
brought
what you
her.
wanted.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm very, very happy. Very happy. Okay, well let me see her.
Before I hand her, I kind of pull back for a second.
She notices. She doesn't.
Who is she?
Oh, simply a token. Bait. What's a word that you'd understand? Like a worm for fishing. You see, I've learned something. Come with me. Come with me. And she walks you past as she carries the body in one hand. She towers over and she's.
As I follow, I'm watching her, the body, as she's holding it, as I'm following.
As you walk past, the walls of blood red. You see the faces that come out and disappear back into it. You see hands reaching out towards you and then getting pulled back. And there's that same grating noise in your ear of agonizing pain. And Rangda speaks to you as you guys walk. And she goes, so, I've been thinking a lot about this Barong. I've been thinking about all these efforts I've made to kill him, It's always death. I always want to kill him. But recently I've had a revelation. You see, and I speak to you because you're my favorite, right? You know that. And she grazes the tip of one nail against your nose. You see, I know I can't kill him. In fact, I think I need him. I think he's necessary. But what I can do, I believe, is capture him. And I think I can do that with this one. She's a consort to a king that the people love, from a village that Barong loves. And their festival is coming up soon, you see, and I heard, a little birdie told me, a little demon birdie, told me that Barong will be visiting that village. And when he's there, I intend on capturing him. Of course, with your help.
Why?
Well, because he's such
What
a
do you
nuisance.
get out of it?
He's a nuisance. He's a nuisance. Imagine a world where people are fighting. A world of chaos and war. A world where people can live without inhibition.
Sounds tired.
Maybe to you. You'll learn. Someday you'll learn. But I know that this will make Batara very happy. And don't we aim to please Batara Kala?
Right.
She places the body on a cold stone slab. And as she does, you see the woman wake up, her eyes slowly open. She takes her nails and she digs them slowly but deep into the chest of the woman. The woman cries out, trying to resist, but she can't. Rangda's strength is nearly immeasurable compared to that of a mortal.
I turn my head when I see.
She pulls something out. It glows with a blue light. She says, "See, this is something we can use." She starts dancing her fingers around it. She starts forming it and making it into something. Looks like a flower. And then she takes a hair from her head, plucks it out, and she makes it into a necklace. So, you've again succeeded in a mission that I've sent you on, and I'd like for you to play a special part in a very, very important mission.
Sounds like I'll be doing all the work again.
No, not at all. In fact, I'll be there, and Batara Kala will be there, and so will all our little helpers. This is it. This is our moment. This is our victory. You simply have to wear this necklace. She puts it around your neck. And find Barong when he comes.
Why did you choose me?
That's a good question. It is a good question. Perhaps I liked your face. Perhaps I liked the way you screamed inside. I can hear you.
But why not an immortal?
What fun would that be? And this should help. Barong won't kill you. That's not his way. I don't need an immortal to be a distraction.
Right. A distraction. Fine.
Okay. So, in 4 days, the moon will be full. And on that day, you will return to the village. We will be there, right behind you. And as Barong descends upon his favorite village, you will be there to meet him. Draw his attention. No matter what, don't let him go. And we will do the rest.
How am I supposed to get into that village? They've seen me. They'll kill me on sight.
Not if you're wearing that necklace. In the nights leading up to your meeting with Barong, you feel something changing within you. The necklace burns, and every time you try to take it off, you cannot. The second night passes, and you feel feverish. You feel like something's taking over. You feel a menacing within you. As you stumble out of your quarters, you move past the souls that reach at you, through the blood-red walls, the hands that reach at you, pleading for mercy, pleading for help. And as they do, one grabs at you, and you see a vision of their life. You hear their pain pained words, and you feel the agony in their hearts. You try to keep your distance, and eventually you make it to a pool of water that rests at the base of the cave. And you see your reflection. Your face has changed. And as you see yourself, the fever appears. The fever feels as if it's dying down, and you feel one with whatever this is. What do you see in your reflection?
See. I see dark flames around my body. Shadowy hands appearing and then disappearing back into the flames of my body.
What does your face look like?
Look like a monster. Sharp fangs. Big eyes.
You hear Rangda's voice from behind.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
What have you done? What did you do?
I've only given you power that you never would have attained before. Yes, darkness this, darkness that, black magic, yes. But this is my way, okay? And I quite like what's going on here.
But what? This is who I am now?
Well, yes. I told you you were my favorite. And now, you can never leave. What fun would that be?
She turns to walk away.
Kinda just like... I'm just kneeling and kinda like looking at my hands. And then looking at the reflection again. And then I'll just... in anger, I'll swipe at the water on my reflection. Ah!
As you swipe at the water, it begins to settle, and as the ripples die down, you see the boy's face again. He calls out to you. He says, "Help. Find me."
Do you want? I'm no savior. Look at me.
Two more nights have passed. It's the night of your meeting with Barong. You are not yourself. You've changed. Something in your core has changed. You go, just as Rangda planned. The hands grab at you as you descend into the pool of souls, and you emerge in the night light.
This time, those hands are comforting.
The boatman waits by his boat, as he did before.
Hello. It's good to see you again.
He smells different. He smells delicious.
Look at me.
He turns his head away from you. You can
Look
almost...
at me.
He shakes as he turns his head to look towards you.
Do you like what you see?
His hands are shaking on the oar.
I only joke. Let's go.
I love it. Cool. So you get back onto the boat, and you notice he's hesitant as he moves. He gets back on, and he starts rowing the boat. Hours pass, and eventually you make it to the shore. You see the village up on the hill past the trees, and you see the palace sitting at the peak. It's different now. They've placed more light everywhere. There's torches everywhere. You see guards from the distance patrolling the area.
How foolish. They think the light will hide the darkness. They don't want to see me in the light.
Creepy. You move in. And while you snuck in before, this time you feel like a predator. You feel like you're on a hunt. You follow not the light, but instead the scent of your prey. A guard walks on his own, holding a singular torch, patrolling the area. What do you do?
I'll walk up behind him, tap him on one side, and I'll place my face in front of him for when he turns back.
Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Run.
He drops the torch and he starts running off. Do you pursue?
No, but I'll kick the torch into the forest.
Okay. The light disappears off into the distance.
I'm hoping to ignite.
A moment
Whatever.
passes and nothing. Another couple seconds pass, and then you see the fire begins to light.
You want light? I'll give you light.
The fire is spreading behind you. You hear voices yelling from the village. Fire! Fire in the forest! Several voices, several footsteps running towards your direction.
I'll just continue walking as if I was to walk straight through them.
You move towards them, and suddenly you're surrounded by 20, 30 men. Weapons at the ready.
I'm here for Barong.
It's a monster. What is that? Look at his face!
Yes, you're all right. I am a monster.
Don't let him into the village! Protect the people! They draw their weapons. What do you do?
Worry. If it's a fight you want, then I'm happy to feast.
Roll for intimidation with advantage.
16.
A good chunk of the group begins to run away, back towards the village. Stand your ground! There's only one of him!
One is all I need. You should join your other men. They're a right to run.
You want to use one of your tricks up your sleeves?
Sure. Well, I just kind of like place my hands here. If you want to fight, let's fight. And then, like darkness starts like illuminating from my body, and hands start to come out.
Nice.
Like 8 hands come out,
Ooh.
reaching like this around me. And then I turn my head and look one of the soldiers right in the eye. And the hands freeze. Claws come out. And they start swiping around me.
Oof. Nice. Yeah. So they start eviscerating all the creatures around. They start eviscerating all the men around you, and the men yell out as you slash through them with your claws. They yell out, and the ones that aren't incapacitated by your attack run. They run in all different directions. You notice the fire behind you spread into a massive flame, stretching the width of the forest.
Barong, where are you? I'll destroy your whole village if that's what you want.
You say this as you move towards the village.
Yeah, to the center.
You walk towards the center, calling out for Barong. People are looking out their windows, yelling out in fear.
You're supposed to be better than the demons, yet you sit there and watch your people die. Will you do nothing? Are you just as bad as us?
On the opposite side of the village, in the trees, past the wall, you see a large figure emerging from it, light radiating from all around. It walks towards you on all fours. Its face is red. It has a large beige mane. It walks with nobility, with a regality.
We're awfully late.
As you say that, you start to hear screams coming from behind. The others have arrived. Monsters are going into the houses behind you. You see sprays of blood from behind. There's a wall of darkness coming from behind you. How do you feel?
More alive than I have been in years.
Barong, how close do you let Barong get to you?
Right up to my face. I don't flinch.
There's a childlike curiosity to him, you find. He doesn't speak. Instead, he kind of looks around you curiously, observing you. His head tilts as he observes you. How do you react?
Oh. I just say, careful, I might bite.
As soon as you say that, he takes his massive paw and he moves slowly, but he places it against your chest. And even though it's gentle, your body flies back. Actually, you see your body fly back, almost as if you're observing it from outside your own body. And as you fly backwards, it's like you're flying through the night. You're flying through worlds. And there's a kaleidoscope of light that shines before your eyes, and then you're standing in the middle of a forest. It's a sunny day. The light of the sun touches your skin and you feel warmth. You look around. You can't help but notice that everything feels different. You look ahead and you see a woman off in the distance. You hear her calling out, "Cahya! Cahya!" She yells out. Again, a little bit louder. "Cahya! Cahya!" She yells out.
I'll start moving towards her.
You take one step forward and then another. And then she looks at you. She kneels down in front of you. There's a panic in her eyes. She says, "It's gonna be okay. I won't let her take you, Cahya. You're going to be okay. You're gonna be okay." It's a familiar face. Your mother? Suddenly you have a flashback to the face of the elderly woman that you took to Rangda.
No, it can't be. You're playing tricks on me, Barl. You're messing with my head. What is this?
Your vision is obscured by long nailed fingers grabbing at you. The woman's voice cries out. Your mother cries out. "Cahya, no! Cahya!" She yells out, reaching for you. But you see her being taken away as well. Creatures of the black magic, creatures of the darkness surround her. As you're pulled back further and further, you come back to center. You stand there before Barong. He puts his paw down, and his face looks stoic, but you feel him smiling. You look down at your hands, and you see a mask. You realize you've found a new awareness. You aren't her slave anymore. You aren't Rangda's slave anymore. What do you say to Barong?
Am I free?
He gives you a gentle nod. And suddenly you see Rangda's hands come up from below the earth and grab him. He starts struggling, trying to wriggle free.
No, stop. Stop it. Oh,
You can hear her laughing.
yeah, I'll try to like pull her hands off of Barong.
Your strength is no match. Your strength is no match for her. Her claws cut you as you try to pry her hands off. In the you see Barong look up towards the sky, and the moon is suddenly being engulfed by a darkness. You see Batara Kala's silhouette with the moonlight behind him, and as he engulfs the darkness, a ring of fire surrounds it.
If I don't.
Barong gets pulled into the ground.
No. No.
You collapse to the ground on your knees.
Sorry. I'm sorry. This isn't what I wanted.
As the screams stop around you, you see villagers walking out of their homes. And as the red light of the moon shines onto the village, they all go motionless. In unison, they all look to you. And as you look up to them, you notice a ring of red light within each of their eyes. They move towards you as their bodies begin to change and transform, surrounding you.
This isn't the end. I'll stop this. I'll stop what I started.